Okay, time for run 4 though. No, please not Nguyen. Okay, a doctor. Against Nguyen I would have to hide my hand because he's a renowned stream sniper. Okay, hand doesn't have any value artifact yet to bounce, but it looks like a keep for sure. And Faithless Looting can find us the pieces that we need for each matchup. Elvish Mystic, please. No! And that. I don't even have the one of Electric in my deck anymore to have any chance here. I'm basically on Prismatic Strands or Bust, and then try to fly over and raise them, which only works if they don't find a lifelink enchantment and or I find Prismatic Strands. Pretty much like 5% to win this game with the hand that I currently have. God damn it. Yeah, I also bought some pretty expensive Hoodwings, though the Hoodwings definitely paid for themselves, because my my win rate with Familiars was amazing enough to make up for it. Not that that's all that. I do have one stat, like the post-board games are winnable, but the match overall, like I'm 5% to win this game, and then I'm probably like 30% to win the match or something. Yeah, definitely just that here. I do have reasonable sideboard, but I don't have the Patrician Scorn anymore because I just cut it this morning to make room for the Reaping the Graves, because I moved the Reaping the Graves from the main deck to the sideboard to make room for the Faithless Lootings. And I guess the Faithless Lootings already paid for themselves as well. But this matchup I'm not well prepared for, and I'm a huge underdog. Even with a better draw, I would still be a huge underdog, but like my draw is so awful that I'm pretty much just dead already. Still have like the tiny chance of finding Prismatic Strands here, but their creature already tramples and is big enough to kill me in 2 hits, so must be nice, Pauper. I think I bought them for 6 each or something, and that. Okay. Well, I didn't really expect anything out of game 1 in this matchup. I was on the draw and my hand was not well set up for the matchup, so not much I can do. So now we get to bring some hate in, but the amount of hate that I have is not really enough to deal with the matchup. Probably even want this for like racing purposes and as an early blocker. Feather Sentinels are good with strands, but I have like a low amount of strands already, so probably something like this. Or have the Desperate Relic of Progenitus in my deck again for the Glinthawk early game, like I did against Burn. Sometimes you can cut some bolts as well, but I think I just need as much Burn in my deck to try and raise, because I can't out-control them really. Sure. Probably this. How's Kendra doing? I guess she was 2-1, right? Yeah. Playing against Doomwake. Whatever. My up score is good. That's good news. Hmm. I right now have neither, and I think Screeches are kind of too slow. But yeah, they both have like a little bit of utility. It's a friend of yours? Okay, nice. You have friends. Good for you. No, I don't really know Doomwake. Mulligan has all the cards that I need for the matchup, but no lands to go with it. Oh my god. I think this is a mulligan as well. Mulligan into 5 is bad, but I still have a better chance with like electric redraws. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was gonna say that before I saw the hand. Okay, I think I'll bottom this, even though the third land is not awful. I kinda just want to find a cycling artifact and like a standard bearer, a lot of other stuff. With this hand I actually can have a real chance. Though it's very inefficient for me to constantly have to keep these open. Though I guess Glint Talk is kind of a 0-man update here if I miss my land drop, because I can bounce the Ancient Den, then replay it. Okay. I think this is not really a great approach for my opponent. The way that I usually, it depends on what their hand looks like, but the way I usually played it out of Boggle's perspective is that I held my 1-drops in my hand and try to assemble 1-drop plus Cartouche or 1-drop plus Ethereal Armor in the same turn, so that if I ever tap below 2 mana, you get to slam a 1-drop creature and immediately give it 2 toughness. And then the electricities are blanked. I could have tried killing it here. I think I'm slightly more comfortable doing this. The 2 electric races could have been alright to kill it here. The thing I'm most afraid of is like a land enchantment into Ancient Grudge. This kind of wrecked me pretty hard. Yeah, now I get to respond. Though if they have like a pump spell or something to go with it, it's... So they had all the pieces to that strategy. I guess if they have like an untapped land and another cartouche here, I get wrecked, but it's pretty unlikely for that to happen. Yeah, you kind of just need to force the Boros opponent to tap below 2 mana, and then go for that like make a 2 toughness creature combo, and then it's very difficult for Boros to win. And if I always keep open 2 mana for the rest of the game, it's also difficult for me to win, because then you can... Yeah, this is great for me. Then you can go for like exactly this turn where you go Gladecover Scout, Cartouche, I Electricity, you play second Gladecover Scout, second Cartouche, then you also have a 2-2 and I can't Electricity anymore. Well, we have a new target, though this one is killable. That's pretty great. Well, unless they have Cartouche of whatever the green one is called. What is the green Cartouche? Savagery? No. Trial of Ambition? Cartouche of Ambition? Cartouche of Ambition, I think. Or is that the black one? No, that's the black one. Ah, whatever. Green Cartouche allows them to fight here. Oh, Gutshot also allows them to kill it. Strength. Oh yeah, that makes sense for a green card. Could still be in trouble if they have more. Damn it. Well, that isn't that scary on its own. If they have another Ancestor Mask or Amadilk Cloak, I'm pretty screwed. I think I want to get rid of the planes. That's why I sequence it like this, though it makes my follow-up plays a little bit awkward in some sequences. For example, here. Putting them to 14. It isn't actually increasing my clock if I get this Skyfisher onto the board, only if I find another burn spell. So I think Alchemist by next turn Skyfisher is alright with me. And then it also increases my chances of finding Core Sanctifier off of the Vial, and then I can Core Sanctifier the Ethereal Armor, and then Core Skyfisher the Sanctifier back to my hand. In an ideal world. Second phase, the shooting always not that great on the mulligan to 5. Okay, no extra enchantments I like to see. Now I might actually be able to win the race. Like Armadillo Cloak was probably the worst case, and Ancestral Mass is like close to the worst case. But yeah, this seems pretty beatable for now. And that helps my racing situation. Yeah. Pretty fortunate that my opponent so freely played their Armadillo Cloak into my Electricity instead of shaping their draw in a way where my Electricity is a little bit more awkward and they can hold on to that. Now they don't even have an attack into this Skyfisher, that's just amazing. I know I kind of use this word a little bit inflationary at the moment, but it is actually just amazing. That's more cycling artifacts that I really want. I can probably get rid of both and just Skyfisher it up. So they have like one more draw step to find an Armadillo Cloak, otherwise I just win. Sure. That doesn't really change things right now, and if that was their top deck, I'm just crushing, so... I guess they sometimes board like Moments, Peace, or Tangle, though I'm not certain why my opponent would bring it in this matchup. Because even though it comes down to a racing situation, if my draws are better than theirs, like when I'm winning it comes down to a racing situation, and when they're winning it's like they run me over pretty easily. Okay, that helps a lot. So now I can even afford to just attack into the Tangle or Moments Peace pretty freely. I think I only need to send 4 points of damage for Tangle. I don't think there's any other knife game they would be running. No. I think that's always better, because then my other player stays untapped, which can both block their creature on defense. Wait, I need another artifact. Otherwise that would have backfired pretty hard. I guess they can have instant speed artifact destruction. But yeah, let's try. Should just win me the game here. Yeah, 4 power attack seems strictly better than their 6 power attack. Yeah, I also like the way that I sideboarded, I think. Sure. Let's run it back. Yeah, if I miss something, it's usually not going to be fast enough if you point it out in the chat, though it's still useful if you point it out afterwards to tell me how much I punted. Okay, definitely have to keep this one. Please keep mulliganing. If they go 1-drop, like 1-drop creature into 2-drop, give it 2 toughness, I'm still in a bad position here. Okay, tapped land turn 1 is definitely part of the recipe for my success. Though they can still go untap 1-drop creature plus give it cartouche, and then I'm still in trouble. Yes! That was step 2 to my success. And my opponent seemed to be very willing to play into Electricity in the previous game. I don't think I'll respect any of the pump spells. I think the only pump spell that I could really be running is Mutagenetic Growth, and Boggles doesn't even run those most of the time, though I think they probably should. I think it could be helpful for Bogus to have some number of mutagenic growth for these kinds of spots. Probably priced into Electric Ring on my opponent's end of turn anyways, but this just makes my life so much easier. If they had just like attacked and passed the turn, I was in kind of a weird spot because I kind of need to cast it anyways and I don't get a cartouche out of their hand. Still don't have an answer for the second creature, but it's better for me to have at least solved one problem. Probably Prism, even though that applies very little pressure to my opponent. Do just want to find like a Sanctifiers here. Probably also bouncing the untapped land rather than gaining more life, yeah. Second Electric Sanctifiers, obviously what I want. One on the multi 5. Yeah, for sure. My multi 5 was super good. Double Electricity, double like what was it? 2 land, 2 Electricity, 1 creature or something? Like Thraben Spectre, or maybe it was 2 Thraben Spectre. My multi 5 was definitely great. Could still be in trouble here. God damn it. I mean, my hand is set up for racing. But I don't have great ways of getting these Skyfishers into play. Probably just have to bounce a land for Skyfisher. That only makes my... well, it makes it difficult to develop these if I bounce a land. Could also do Thraben Spectre instead. Then I'm not applying as much pressure. Yeah, that's just not a great spot. Yeah, I think I have to Inspector. Yeah, Prismatic Strength should still pretty easily close out this game, because then I can fly over comfortably and stop their attacks. As long as there's no Flaring Pain. Probably just Lightning Bolting their face with this leftover red mana. If they don't play like a Standard Bearer or something that I would rather board. Which they occasionally board in because it's kind of an answer to my Standard Bearer. They can target their own one then and keep growing it. Yeah, but I do need to start applying some pressure, I think. I don't think I can afford to just like cycle more artifacts and do nothing this turn. Well, that's a little bit awkward, but at least the cartouche is out of their deck and it means they don't have another way of giving more power and toughness, so a 2/2 Bogle is actually pretty appealing to me. Because it means there's no attacks this turn and their hand is pretty weak. I like how that turned out, even though my Thraben Spectre died. Yeah, that does set me up pretty well to raise, as long as there's no Armadillo Cloak. And I assume my opponent didn't have Armadillo Cloak in hand, because they would have just played that first and then made it into a 4/4 that fights my creature with lifelink on it, so then they gain 4 off of the fight and then gain another 4 off of the attack. So they pretty much can't have Armadillo Cloak in their hand unless they were trying to bait my Core Sanctifiers with the weaker enchantment. Yeah, I think their hand is just kind of weak. Or my opponent is like super next level. But it makes more sense for their hand to be weak. Once again, I like kind of aggressively throw my burn spell out of there because now I'm losing Metacraft and I wanted to get it out of my hand while I'm still dealing 4. Just trying to raise here. Yeah, definitely blasting before Skyfisher. Well, that is still not helping them raise, really. Yes, no Ancestral Mask, no Armadillo Cloak. This looks pretty beatable. Well, if I have like triple red, I want this. So I can either cast it off like double white or cast the Prophetic Presence first. Alchemist Spell could stop this warrior from attacking. I don't think that matters very often. Come on, give me looting into prophetic prison, into prismatic strength. I mean, not prophetic prison. They go to 9. I have 7 points in hand. Ancestral Mask is plus 8, 11, 12. That's still alright with me. Armadillo Cloak is difficult because then they're gaining more life than I'm dealing damage. But not much I can do about it. Ethereal Armor is kind of the same. Okay. Yeah, I think I just have to be continuing to attack and hoping that I get there. One more turn where they have to find lifelink, and otherwise they die. Unless they board in the 1 mana card lifelink, they can't even like tutor it up with their Heliod's Pilgrim. Yes! Okay, now my opponent needs Tangle or a Moment's Peace to survive the attack in the air. Now I can sacrifice this without losing Metacraft. Okay. Once again, only send 1 creature and put them to 7. I think so. For the same reason, they tangle my attack, and then at least one of my creatures is still untapped for next turn instead of both of them not untapping. Should just be a win here. I think they sometimes have Dispel though, but I mean, then I'm still threatening lethal next turn, so. Usually they board in Duress and not Dispel. Off of like these lands splashing off cards. Yay! Ah, man, all these scary proactive decks that I have too little hate for make me work really hard for my wins, but worked out amazing so far. Someone followed while I was concentrating, let me check.